I'll be ranking the books I read last year, and I'm only doing this now because I only thought of it now. I wanted to do it because it sounded interesting. Also because ranking things is fun for no reason at all. I don't really get the I don't get why it's fun. It just is. So it's in order of when I read them. Can you see my mouse? Yeah, there it is. So this is the first one that I read last year. Of course, it's really good. I haven't read the Two Towers or Return of the King yet, but I hope to do that at some point. I guess your enjoyment of a book might be lower if you've already like seen a just any adaptation of it, but I still thought it was really good. Still a 5 out of 5. And then we have A Wizard of Earthsea, the first in the Earthsea books. Yeah, this is well an absolute, the slapper. Whether or not it's better than Lord of the Rings, I don't want to comment on right now. All I can say is I really do think that they are equals. But I just think, Wizard of Earthsea is fewer in pages. Not to say that having fewer pages is better. That would be a weird thing to say. But I think it just does just as much as Fellowship does, but just like in fewer pages. And like personally, I will put it above Fellowship for now. Yeah, then we have the Tombs of Artuan, which I will also put in as. I also think it's an absolutely fantastic book, which I will also put above Fellowship. These three are all absolute, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever. It's just I just really enjoy Le Guin's way of writing. I just enjoy more than Tolkien's. Again, it's not Tolkien's writing isn't bad. It's still a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever. But I just enjoy these more. Stone Ocean JoJo's Part 6, which I'll put in A tier. This is just the whole part and not just the first volume, I guess, because I don't wanna have like how many are there? 24. This is a really good JoJo's part. I don't think there are any necessarily bad JoJo parts. I do think that 1 and 3 are the weakest, especially 1, of course, but none of them are actually like bad. But this is really good. It's not above 5, 2, or 4 for me. Those are like my 3 favorites. This is still good. Still an 8 out of 10, I'd say. Then we have The Folly Shore, the third book. Oh yeah, this is the first book in the UFC series, and this is the second one. This is the third one. Which, if you've seen the Ghibli UFC movie, this is like the one that it is most based on. Uh, it takes a lot from this. I don't like the Ghibli UFC movie, but I saw that before I read any of these. So I was like, kind of, I guess, I really wanted to see if it was just the Ghibli guys just, you know, ruining something, and it kind of was, which is sad. I remember it looking pretty good, but that's, because Ghibli movies just look good normally. But yeah, this is still good. Not nearly as good as these two. I think these two really just do something different. But this one is really good as well. Still an 8 or even 9 out of 10. I would put it above Stone Ocean, because this has a scale of adventure that this also has, but I just think this does it in a better way. Uh, because these two are pretty do have a good scale of adventure, which of course Fellowship also does. This doesn't have that big scale of adventure. Tombs of Atuan, but I do think that it uses a very limited like physical space really well. But yeah, this is not in S tier, but still really good. Then we have this. We could call it The Dreamers or Drømmerne. I think this is actually a story from a bigger collection of stories that was originally written in English, but then translated into Danish by the author who is Danish. But I'll put this in B tier. I think that it is okay. It's pretty short, 100 something pages. It's kind of convoluted at times. It did have an interesting, story, but it didn't really capture me all that much. I still think it was good. The original collection is called Seven Gothic Tales, I believe. And we have this. I'll put this in C because this is just not. It was really short. It's like 60 pages something. I just didn't care for it. Maybe it's really important within fantasy as a genre, but I don't care for it. all that much. It was fine, you know. And with this, I'll put this in low B. This is the fourth volume of a larger series of which I have not read the first three volumes. They're about a group of characters who are stuck in the same day, Groundhog Day style, you know? I don't know. I've only read the fourth one. Uh, I like the overall idea. I think that's really interesting. And I could see myself trying to read the first three volumes. And then also, I think there's 7 in total. Maybe. I don't know. Then there's this a Swedish fantasy-ish book, which I'll put in high B above D's. I enjoyed it more. I guess there's just more to I guess more to for me to latch onto. And I did enjoy because it felt a lot like Tombs of Atuan actually. Um, in both the setting and the overall ideas. If the author of Maresi, which I really don't know how to pronounce their last name, but if they have read Tombs of Atuan, which I would be really surprised if they haven't, considering that it really reminds me a lot of Tombs of Atuan, which Tombs of Atuan is the older of the books, and Le Guin is really influential in just writing, and especially fantasy and sci-fi. So I would be surprised if it wasn't inspired a bit by Tombs of Atuan. I really would. Then we have The Hobbit, which I think goes high A. I think that it is good, of course. That's why it goes in A. Uh, but I don't think for me, just personally, it just wasn't a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, absolute fantastic. I had such a good time. I did have a good time, but it's just there were parts of it that I just kind of didn't care that much for. Of course, it is a much better time to read this than to watch the films, the movies. The Hobbit movies are, in my opinion, the biggest 5 out of 10 trilogy, but having a 5 out of 10 trilogy isn't really good. It's kind of sad, actually. It's still really good, but it's just Lord of the Rings just does laps around the Hobbit. So yeah. Then we have the fourth part of Earthsea, which I'll put here in high A. I had a better time with it than all of these below. Whether or not it should go into an S at some point, really, I don't know. But right now it's here. It's very different from the first three. The first three feel pretty kind of, especially the first and the third one. The second one is really different compared to the first and third one. And I think this fourth one is more like the second one, also because it actually centers around the same main character as the second one does. But there was also a big time jump for Le Guin between the third one and the fourth one. And I think it's very noticeable in the way that it just feels very different. The way that Le Guin describes the characters and their thoughts and just how they view the world around them. It's really, really good and interesting. There's some really, really good quotes in this. Some of the lines said by the characters are really good and still stick with me. Then we have the first and second book of The Shamer's Daughter. Yeah, I put it here below Further Shore. I still think they're good. I think the first one is really, really. I think the first one is good, and I think the second one is also pretty good. There's some things about it that I don't really like all that much, but yeah, uh, just good, decent, good fantasy for younger audiences. And then there's the third and fourth one of the same series. I think my problem is that I think the third one is the best one in the series, but I think the fourth one is the worst one. So we kind of reach a point where it's like, I think the third one is definitely above 1 and 2, but I think 1 and 2 as a package deal is better than 3 and 4 because I really don't like 4 all that much. So for now, I'll put it like this. Also, the things kind of align. I see here. Wait, holy shit! Wait, does it line perfectly? No, I don't think so. The top here doesn't really. I'll be looking at that, and yeah, and then we'll just get to the last one. Brothers Lionheart. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I could put it there. I see it there. That's a perfectly good place to put it. I enjoyed Stone Ocean more, I think. This is, of course, a children's book. Not that I think children's literature should be, should be disregarded as lesser literature. That's not what I'm saying. It's just I enjoyed Stone Ocean more. This looks pretty good. I like where everything has been put. I need to look at this on my copies. I want to see if it actually lines up because I actually haven't looked, which is crazy. That's insane. But yeah, I don't read much, so this is all. This is all I read last year. Bye.